Listen, this is for somebody who's on a journey and you're wondering if God will still talk to you because of the stuff you've been through in your life, because of the stuff you've done. About 3 weeks ago, my client passed away. Now, this was a huge resource that God was using to help provide for me and my family. And with all the bills, falling on my shoulder, me taking care of 5 kids, and I had a peace about it. And when I tell y'all, I've been praying 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning. And that's why I started the Sis Pray thing, because I understand how important prayer is. And I said, God, I know you're going to do something, because I know I'm meant to motivate people. I know I'm meant to encourage people. I know I have the gift of exhortation, and that God is going to call me to stages where I get to motivate people with the word of God, and I get to encourage them with the word of God so that they can live in their purpose and their calling. And so I was speaking on this line, which I do every single Thursday, nothing different. I was speaking on this line, and I began to tell them how you have to surrender to God completely. And when I say surrender to God, I'm talking about nothing else matters but the relationship between you and God. But I'm talking about a surrender from your heart that, God, I don't care about nothing else. If I lose everything that I have, if I like I'm unable to keep up with bills, I don't care about none of that, as long as my relationship with you is right. And I was telling them about this, about how important it is to understand that God is the source. I don't care about a job, because those are resources, but God is the source. And I was telling them these things, and I received a message from a relative saying someone wants to speak with you. And as soon as I read this message, I heard in my spirit saying, go with her. And so when the individual calls my phone, I'm listening, and I'm thinking maybe it's for a speaking engagement, because really my heart, my passion is to go more towards into motivational speaking and coaching and using the word of God to be able to help people, take what we learn spiritually and apply it to their lives, to live in their calling and their purpose. And so she called it, and she began to explain, what she had available, and she heard what I said on the line. And y'all, when I tell you, I start taking down the address, because I know God told me to go, but I was like, God, this ain't what I'm looking for. God, I've been praying, and you said, that if I pray and I ask, like, God, you'll fulfill it. But I want you to understand this, and I hope you hear this. So I'm like, God, but I'll go. So I wrote down the address, I put it in my GPS. I get there, and y'all, when I tell y'all, I'm like, God, look at this environment. I'm like, God, look what's going on. Like, God, I know what I've been praying about, and I'm believing that you're going to answer prayers, God. And I know, I need to be able to get something to help sustain bills, things like that, until my calling and my purpose, until it comes to fruition. God, I know that I need something, but God, I'm like, God, I've graduated from this, and in my mind, God, I've gone to the next level. Like, why am I here? And so I'm listening to everything, that they're speaking, the pay, and it's not what I want, y'all. I know I'm worth more, and it's not what I want. And I'm like, God, this isn't it. So I get back in my car. And I say, okay, God, I believe that I heard you. And to be honest, I thought it was a speaking engagement. And I said, I believe, what you said. And I said, but God, I'm not gonna lie. I'm about to be like that man in the Bible that asked if he truly heard from you, wet the fleece, right? And so there's a brother that I have that I don't speak too often. We don't call each other often like we should. And at first I was going to say, well, God, make my YouTube channel go viral, those type of things. But I was like, God, I don't want to take it from a selfish intent, right? So I said, God, if this is you, and I said, and I said, forgive me, God, if I know it was you that spoke to me, and I'm still asking for confirmation. But I said, Father, I need you to do this for me. I said, to confirm that I heard you, I said, have my second oldest brother call my phone. Now, y'all, when I tell y'all, last time I talked to my second oldest brother, he lives in another state, it's been months. And so I said, have my second oldest brother call my phone. And y'all, I was getting phone calls, and my heart would fall, because I was like, God, I really don't want this job, but y'all, at 5:54, a phone call comes to my phone, and it's my second oldest brother. And I was real specific with God when I told him. I was real specific. I said, God, when he calls my phone, I want him to say, so what y'all been up to? And so my brother called my phone and said, hey sis, where's my nephew at? And he was like, today is birthday? I was like, no, bro. And he's like, oh, so what y'all been up to? And I was like, bro. But when I tell you, I thank God for the job. But when I tell you to know I heard the voice of God, and to know that I was so important to him, that he took the time to confirm it. And so when I tell you, stay on that journey, not only did he take time to confirm it, you know, I believe that God, when he shows us things, he shows us in different ways. And see, in the Hebrew language, numbers mean a lot. And because they attach to certain words. And I looked at the time my brother called me, it was 5:54. When I went look up in the Hebrew what 5:54 meant, it meant to establish. It means that he's trustworthy. It means to confirm. When I tell you, God took the time to confirm what he had told me. See, a lot of times because of things that we've been through in our life, we feel like we're not worthy enough. We feel like we're not good enough because of what we've done. We feel like, you know what, God, I'm not like the Priscilla Shires and the Katie Rose and all of that. And a lot of time we say, God, am I that important enough? Am I important enough for you to do this? And to know that God took the time, a mother, a single parent household of 5 kids, he took the time to confirm what he had been trying to show me. So when I tell you, if you want a journey right now trying to even hear the voice of God, you are that important. You are that important to God. You are that important to him that he'll take the time. But all you have to do is ask him. All you have to do is ask him. So if you're on that journey, I pray that you stay on that journey even when you feel like you're not enough, even when you feel like you're not good enough, even when you feel like you're by yourself. Stay on that journey and just know somebody's praying for you, okay?